Hi guys, it's Lynn with Security National Mortgage, and I am here with my realtor partner,
Frances Kalani with the Caldwell Group, powered by Realty One.
Frances. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are sitting here at one of your open houses. I wanted to kind of just take this opportunity, go through any questions that you may have, any message that you may have for your clients.
Well, the biggest question right now are interest rates and how do they affect the buyer?
That is everybody's most favorite question that they like to. It's weird. I say obsessed with, very understandably so, right? Because a lot of the home buying process and payments and how much you can afford, that interest rate does drive that. Interest rate itself is going to drive that mortgage payment. Now, what most people don't really understand, we as lenders don't actually qualify you on the purchase price of the home. They always ask, well, how much can I afford? The price of the home gives you a general idea, but what we qualify you on is the monthly payment that you can afford. So if you were to take a $500,000 house, for example, two $500,000 homes in different neighborhoods, in different areas of the city, but the monthly payment for one is $2,500 because we're looking at principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. This payment may be higher than the $500,000 home in a different area where the property taxes may be lower, homeowners insurance may be lower. So if you were to compare them apples to apples, you know, they're like, well, this is $500,000, so I thought I could afford that, but this one is, or I can't, and this one I can't. So that interest rate is what drives that monthly payment, but it's only one of those factors: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So it's not the end all be all on the interest rates. And a lot of the times you can actually do what's called a buy down of the interest rate. When somebody asks you what is the interest rate right now, the real question is, what is my interest rate?
I like that.
Because, and that's why I can't just spitball. A lot of clients are like, I just want to know what the interest rate is. Just tell me. Well, how do I answer that? Because the interest rate, your interest rate is is going to be different from my interest rate.
Absolutely.
Because you're looking at different programs. Are we going FHA, conventional, VA, USDA, bank state, you know, all of the other programs? What's your credit score? How much are you putting down? That all drives and determines what your interest rate is. And when somebody asks, what is the interest rate? What they're really also asking is, what is my interest rate at no cost, at par, right? So if you play golf, it's at par, zero. What is the interest rate at zero? And from there, you can choose to buy down the rate. So there's no exact formula on how much a rate costs. I can give you a general idea, but that's what changes. The cost of that rate is what changes on a daily basis. That's why you have to ask me, what is the interest rate today? So if you were to call a lender and they say, oh, your interest rate is at 6.5%, but they know nothing about you, they're lying.
Just trying to get your business, really.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly it. Because if you were, like, let's say you're a lender, I'm a lender, and you say that you have an interest rate of 6.5%, well, I have 6.5% as well. We all have the same interest rate. 2% is going to be 2% today, tomorrow, forever. 5%, 6%, 7%. What changes on a daily basis, and sometimes multiple times a day, is the cost of that rate. So when you're shopping lenders, that's what you're looking for. That's what you're shopping, not the rate itself, the cost.
So would you suggest that someone shop lenders before making a final choice on who they really decide to sign that loan with?
Absolutely, right? It's kind of like dating. You don't know what you know until you've gone through it.
Yeah.
You know, yes, one lender may have a better rate, but are they actually the lender for you? Are they, as a first-time homebuyer, explaining the process, working with you to get your credit up? There's a lot more that goes into committing to a loan officer or a lender than just the rate. A lot of people think that it is. You could be knee deep in escrow, and you've gone through this.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you don't have that relationship with the lender as either a client or your realtor, and you are knee deep in nonsense in the middle of contract, you want to know that lender is going to pick up their phone.
Yeah. You have to be able to trust your lender and the people that you work with in that transaction. I guess you don't really realize how many people that you work with in a transaction until you really go through that transaction. And at the end of the day, you're working with anywhere from like 10 to 21 people. Like, it's a crazy amount of people, but there's a lot of hands in the pot that sit there and help get you to where you need to be in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And my favorite saying is, when everybody's competing for your business, the only one that wins is you.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so if you run into a lender, it's like, oh no, don't shop because I'm the best. Stay away.